I've been doing the YouTube thing. Nope, I've been knee deep and waist high in research and trying to work on producing something, because I feel like right now, if I die, like right now, I know that I'll be dying knowing that my life was purposeless. I haven't contributed or done anything with it but fuck it up. So I've been working on trying to do some writing and submitting some papers. I've been looking into engineers, considering all the things that I've figured out, come to learn about the whole thing with the gang stalking and the targeted individual shit, and doing research experiments on myself. I don't know if I put a video about this yet or not, but I went and I got a mixed matched vaccination dose, 2 doses on purpose. I got one at Walmart, and then I went to a clinic 2 weeks later and got one from StarMed, which was different. And so I wanted to see if there was a crossover and a connection in the system there. I wanted to see if MedStar would know that I had already had one prior dose at Walmart, and they didn't. So those don't connect. There's no crossover there for, you know, reporting as far as statistics or numbers as far as that goes, as far as, you know, who's been vaccinated, who hadn't. How could you ever reliably calculate a realistic and reliable number, the percentage of people that are vaccinated as to not vaccinated, if there's not a crossover in any of the record keeping or the tracking of, you know, the doses? Because when I went to go to the clinic 2 weeks later to get what was my second dose, it was one was Pfizer and I think one was Moderna. But yeah, StarMed had no idea that I had already had one dose. They thought I was there for my first vaccination. So they went ahead and scheduled me an appointment 2 weeks after that for what they would have assumed was my second dose, but it really would have been my third vaccination if I had kept the appointment and went. But I didn't, because I'd already had one shot at Walmart that they didn't know about, and they still don't know about. So, I mean, I could go around and just get vaccines every fucking where if I wanted to, over and over again. I mean, that's what they're basically telling you to do anyway. And, you know, it's all a bunch of fucking fraud. I've been looking into that too, a lot of fraud investigation, and looking at transactions, like money transactions, and how they appear on the merchant side and how they appear on the customer side, and where that transaction takes place, and the numbers involved, and what happens. And there's a difference between the Walmart registers that they make you check out if you're paying with cash, because they won't let you pay with cash around here at your self-checkout. But the self-checkout is not a register, it's a kiosk. And just been playing around with that, playing around with capital cities, playing around with capital letters, playing around with engineering. You know, my mom told me my whole life I was lied to. Yeah, Robin, you might have been right. There might be only 144 left, but I think that the 144,000 of God's still elect, well, I could tell you something right now. The Illuminati, Freemasons, whatever you want to fucking call that dumb fucking shit. Well, I can think of a couple groups of people that consider, you know, their group to be exclusive, and that, you know, it's a big secret and they don't want to share it with anybody, and you're powerful, whatever. That would be your developers, your app developers, your software engineers, your computer programmers, your IT, your basically developers. Yeah. DevOps. And yeah, that's what that is. I mean, that's what those people do. And I kind of stumbled into that shit because, you know, they let you do developer mode. I mean, they don't even tell you what it is, and that's what started this whole thing anyway. So, yeah, I've been looking at that, too. I've been thinking about how my life could be, like, the way it is. I mean, you couldn't write it. I mean, I could write it. It would be a great story if I could just get it out, but it would have to be fiction. I mean, it's like on my dad's side, I'm like a mob princess. On my mama's side, I'm like it's either those people or the 144 still elect that are the actual programmers, the original pioneers, like my mama was. And see, I got to do a whole thing on Cisco and all that, because I can remember when I was little, I can tell you the timeline, Cisco. My mom used to go to a conference in big cities all over this country, and every year for her career, she'd bring me back, you know, souvenirs and stuff. And I'd always see that conference bag that say Cisco on it. You know, she did work for a state university, so therefore she was a statesman or whatever. She worked for the state, but in a university, but it was in the business building, in the business department, IT business building. So she had to, well, I could just go on and on about my mom's story. It's really amazing now that I know what I know, and it really pisses me off. It makes me so mad. My mom's a fucking liar my whole life. I guess we all are liars, though. At some point or another, we all are liars. And I want to believe with all my heart that they didn't know the women pioneers of the 60s, 70s, and 80s of computer engineering, or computer programming is what she said. But no, I even asked her the other day what she knew about algorithms. She told me about a class she took in college. She always told me she majored in math. She was a math major. She took algorithm classes. She knows about old Al, Uncle Algorithms. She's a damn Democrat like a motherfucker too. But yeah, she said she didn't like her teacher when he taught her algorithms. It's like, well, if you knew this whole time, how come, like, you know, my family, all my cousins, they're all like something big. They all went to, like, you know, UNC Chapel Hill, Notre Dame, freaking NC State, engineers, bankers, chemists, teachers. I'm the only one that didn't do anything. My other female cousin on my daddy's side, she don't even live around here. So, I mean, their futures was programmed in there because my cousin's mama, she was, you know, she still sits on the Board of Education, and she's retired already. She was like the county's, like, gosh, she was a big wig in DSS and public school counseling and stuff. She still sits on the board because I watch it on YouTube. And around here, we got fuckers sitting on the board like in my town in Granite Falls. The mayor, you know, he retired this year, but all he ever did was call and leave automated messages on my phone anyway. They didn't have an open vote for who was going to be the new mayor. And now the mayor is my old high school principal who was like 60 years old when I was in fucking high school, like 23 years ago. So she's like 80. They just elected her to be the new mayor of Granite Falls. Yeah, we didn't have an election for that. It wasn't free and open, and I didn't hear about it because I would damn sure wouldn't have voted for it. I'd put my name on the fucking ballot. So yeah, I've got ties with police, and I start to think about that, and I forget on my daddy's side, the mob side, over there, his first cousins were chief polices and lead detectives, and then my mom being what she is, my dad has no idea what she is. Yeah, I had no idea what she was until the past couple of years when I finally pieced it together. And I love my therapist now. I love it because I make my mama go with me since she was the one that took over my healthcare, you know, administrations and all my finances, and she, you know, handles my money for me because I'm crazy. I'm schizophrenic, which just means psychic, and I'm also not schizophrenic anymore. Now I am schizoaffective, so I'm very effective at it. So, yeah, I like to make her go with me to my therapist, and my therapist, you know, he comes out, he's like, well, somebody tried to order a refill prescription, a Valium from Dr. Miles's name. Well, no, Dr. Miles, actually what I did was I went on the patient portal, like you said, and I found all kinds of information that I don't know that I should have been privy to, but I guess it was. And I tried to refill a prescription through the patient portal, but not in your name. Anyway, I like to watch him and my mom sit there because he's real slick. I swear, he's a federal therapist, and he's the one that observed me when they put me in the loony bin at the PIC unit, the psychiatric intensive care unit, you know, where you need to be observed. And he was one of the ones observing me, or they give me heroin, and I did it right there in front of God in the day room and all the cameras, with their fake nurses sitting in there supposed to be watching you 24/7 with cameras in the bathrooms that have, you know, the companies that do the toilet paper dispensers and the paper towel dispensers has op in the names when you go in there. And then, you know, yeah, they give me the heroin. It was good. I liked it. It was real wonderful. It was a wonderful break from my torture and illegal confinement and inoculation of a drug that I didn't give consent, nor was I asked if I wanted to have. It was just given to me because some judge, some magistrate somewhere said that, you know, I was a danger to myself and others. Why? Because I had figured out what was going on with your fucking route frequencies on the scanners around here, and what they do with the EMTs, and what they do with their cars, and how they do their fraud with the fucking sabotage. It's like you can self-sabotage yourself, and that's what they used to call the CIA before it was the CIA. And they do all kinds of things. Like, I love it. I just want to come find all you motherfuckers that are dead but ain't dead, walking around here like you're some kind of fucking ghost, some kind of happy fucking phantom. Yeah, Tori Amos, if you died today, you would be a happy phantom. I think you did die someday. And I think I could probably go dig you fucking up and find you alive somewhere because your birth certificate's in the damn Department of Justice down right here, about 30 minutes from my house, you know, by the hospital that you was born at. And I like to, you know, find these motherfuckers, these ones that pulled it off. I wonder if Jonathan Kleck is one. I don't know. One of the ones, you know, that gets to take off and disappearees. Identity changers. That's what a shapeshifter is. That's what a shapeshifter is. And I would love to shapeshift. I'm trying. I'm working my hardest at crafting my own way. Crafting my own paperwork. And, you know, fucking DNA, I've been looking at that too. There's so many tools out there to help you do all kinds of the Human Genome Project and stuff, to look how to sequence DNA. And then you realize that DNA is bullshit. And that always was bullshit. And then it's based on somebody's standard of some code put together based on a pattern that you could go off of. But it's human-made. Somebody made it up. Just like the chemical composition of a human that I have that the hospital gave me when I went to the emergency room during the heat of COVID. Can't get any medical care. Can't get any help for my stomach. Was supposed to have a colonoscopy and an upper endoscopy last Friday. Get all the way there, do all this prep work, can't shit anyway. Never did shit. Drank the shit, some of the shit, couldn't shit. Still ain't shit. Couldn't get an upper endoscopy done to check where I had the gastric bypass years ago, make sure that was okay. I understand you can't stick it up my butt because there ain't nothing in my colon. Anyway, but you want to tell me that you can't do the upper endoscopy because it costs too much money to rent out the hospital as a facility to do the procedures? And who this doctor is, I have no idea. He just walks into my room right before I'm supposed to have the procedure and tells me he doesn't know what's behind all my underlying issues with being constipated or not being able to poop. Well, yeah, I know you don't because you're not my fucking doctor, first and foremost. Second, what do you give a fuck how much it costs to rent this facility to do those procedures if you're not doing them two at one time? Because you're not paying my fucking bill and you're getting paid by Medicaid, you know? It's just like, whatever. It's been that way since COVID come, since I got out of the crazy ward. Yeah, that hospital. Ever since I've waited for a year just to get the endoscopy and colonoscopy, just a whole year. And in the middle of that, my managed care Medicaid cut me off, kicked me off, and put me back on ViaHealth on Medicaid Direct, whatever that is. And can't get no help from nowhere, from no doctors. They don't listen to anything I say. They just totally dismiss me. I think they read something on my file in there. I'm not sure what it is. But so much information everywhere. Goddamn. And I want to believe with all my heart that those pioneers from the 60s, 70s, and 80s in computer engineering and programming and all that shit really didn't understand what they were doing. They really couldn't piece it together all them years back up until now, maybe, because they were just a part in the leg of a big, huge monster, you know. But, one moment. Shut up. Get out of here. Go the fuck on. So, yeah. I want to believe if they didn't know that. But if they didn't know that, then there's a lot I'd love to tell my mom. I need to tell my mom. Hey, Mom, did you know that you can do whatever the fuck you want on there? You're retired. It doesn't matter. I think she knew this already. Why she never told me? She's one of the ones, yeah, I don't know if the sealed are the children of those people, because I do have people talk to me in person in public places. I had back last summer when it was real hot and heavy around here when they flooded this place. They still flooded it here, but they flooded it here because this is the sculpture county. And we got a couple county next door to us. It's got all the military stuff. And so, yeah, and we got the Google data center here, too. So, I don't know where I was going with that, but, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I had people talking to me about that, like a Dollar General talking, doing their street theater right in front of my face, the cashiers that don't work there anymore now, of course, because they're gone. Talking about getting a card to get your payday direct deposit 2 days early, and then talking to the other one and her laughing and saying, yeah, but she's sealed. Yeah, bitch, I know I'm sealed, I guess. I'm pretty sure it's me that's sealed. I don't know why or how to get the seal off or why it's there. But, yeah, I mean, that was directly at me, just like when I went to the grocery store around that time. And a man approached me from behind. There wasn't hardly nobody in the grocery store. It was 9 o'clock at night. And I hear in my left ear, exit kill. Just as loud as ever. On purpose. Well, at this point, don't care. I talk to them out loud. I don't just, not acknowledge them. I acknowledge them and speak out loud at them, straight to their faces. And when he said exit kill, I turned around and I was like, no, fuck that. No exit kill. How about exit win? How about enter again? How about no exit kill? How about exit kill, but I stayed alive? Yeah, and this big country dreams could stay with you like a lover's voice on the mountainside, but we're staying alive. I'd love to just die, but not. Disappear, but not. Wouldn't matter. Nobody knows who I am anyway. So, I don't know. Just lots of things going on. I stopped using YouTube for research, and I highly recommend anyone else that's using YouTube for their research to stop now as well. Because it's all bullshit. All the new age, all the spiritual, all of that bullshit, all the goddamn cloning and me labs and all that. Lies. They're talking about something completely different. Most of them are, we've got Monograph over there. He's been the technical communications, he's like a telecommunicator. He knows all about what's going on. He likes to do that stuff. I like to catch him dead and alive at the same time. We got, I'll tell us, yeah, he's like a developer. He's a, well, the developers even fight, the ones that figured it out. Because it's like most people can hack, I guess. I don't know, I can't, but programming code and hacking are kind of the same in one, but not really. But yeah, they go hand in hand. So, you know, whatever. They got the battles going on. They got hacker battles, like, you know, red heads, black heads, white heads, and gray heads. Or you can just take the heads off and substitute it with hats. That's what they call them. You know, a black hat hacker, a red hat hacker, a white hat hacker, or a gray hat hacker. Or red. Did I say red already? Yeah. And they fight and they battle too. And then there's people like me, I guess, I hope, don't know this out there in the middle of it all, and they can see me. I don't know what they see, but not any of those don't have a hat to wear. I don't have a hat. I mean, I have a hat. It's not mine. It's my boyfriend's, and it's stupid. Ugh, what the fuck is that? I understand that's a dog, and he's holding like a buoy in his mouth, and he is a lab, and he's a retriever. He's like a water dog. But I know what dogs are, too. Dogs are something in programming, and dogs are also little G gods. And swag, stuff we all get, is wags. You can take the S, I'll put it on the end, that'd be wags, like a dog, wag the dog, dog the wag the dog. I don't know. It's just all about that now. And they even got a genre now of rap music. It's called fraud something or something like that. I mean, yeah, I like to look into fraud, though, and financial transactions and how that works, and how it's all connected and not connected at the same time, because it's like Mortimer's no longer leaking, he's sleeping, and the boy ain't even linking. It ain't even linking. It don't even link. And then you've got, you know, on the merchant side, chargebacks, and then you can also, I mean, anybody can just steal their own identity, basically. I tried to report myself lost on the dark web, even though there's no such thing. All that ended up getting me was a goddamn debit card from my bank that wouldn't do anything but let me put money on at the ATM and take money off the ATM. Wouldn't let me use it at the store, wouldn't let me use it online or anything. I got that fixed now and got a new card. But, I mean, I want to be like the guy that I was listening to. It was, he was in, like, fraud prevention and risk stuff, but he used to be, like, you know, I guess a con man or whatever, a fraudster. And, you know, he was talking about, I want to be like him. He had over 150 open bank accounts just to open them. That's all I do too. Is I open them, fuck around with forms, put in information in forms different ways, make a synthetic identity. I read a book, and the book I was reading supposedly gives me Bill Gates' social security number. I'm gonna fuck around with that for a little while and see if it really is. See what happens when I do that. And it gave me a social security number too that it said, don't use this social security number or you'll be asking for trouble. Like, I'm gonna use it now, thanks. I can't leave a button unpushed, motherfucker. So many buttons begging to be pushed, I'm going to push every goddamn one of them. Every one that catches my eye. So, anyways, I'm going to research, and I'm going to get on my desktop that I've had for almost half a year and have anxiety, don't even want to touch. I'm going to get over there and I'm going to touch on it. I'm going to touch on it on YouTube, and I'm going to touch it on it about reporting these channels that I know are doing fraud and doing all that. Taking their channels down or taking over their channels, which you can do, and get the money from their channels and keep their channels going. Hell, I take it down to the Lumen. Lumen. Yeah, I believe that's what it's called. Lumen is what, you know, Google and YouTube use to settle copyright claims and legal disputes. Well, you just go on there to Lumen and just sue fucking Google and YouTube, I guess, if you can. People try to say you can't, but maybe you can. Maybe I'll try one day. If I ever get around to it, probably won't. Probably die before I accomplish any of this. And I hate that for anybody else, because people need shit to believe in, but I ain't really worried about heaven or hell or instant karma anymore. It's unfortunate and it's sad. It's too hard for me to put on a fake mask or a hat that I didn't earn to play on people's beliefs and emotions and sit up there. It's hard for me to be a preacher of any kind of thing like that, or to do anything like that, to stand up in front of people and to pretend like I believe in something that I knew wholeheartedly was not true. And I applaud those people that can do that, I guess, whatever, and be fake like that, because they do give people something to believe in, I guess, unless they're one of those hellfire and brimstone preachers like the Southern Baptists around here. Anyway, I like to watch him get fired up because he was hot. That was all. He ain't even hot anymore. Saw him at my boyfriend's daddy's COVID funeral. His daddy died. They said of COVID, but it wasn't. It was just pneumonia. They don't know what happened to him because they took him off in the ambulance and wouldn't let anybody go, and they had him inoculated in a medical coma before, not inoculated, intubated and in a medical coma before anybody can get up there to see. So yeah, the preacher of that church, yeah, he was hot 5-7 years ago. Not anymore, so I have no need for his fire and brimstone. No more. No more, thank you. That's enough. And for anyone who sees this, love you, see you, and goodbye. And also, one more thing, P.S. If anybody would like to contact me with questions about the whole developer engineer, engineer and developer, software engineer, computer programmers, computer engineers, the 144,000 and why they're sealed, and you know, what happened with Cisco, and what happened in 2007, and what happened with Banner, and what a lot of these people ended up staying on longer their jobs than they were contracted to for lots of extra money to teach their team that they managed underneath them a certain thing called Banner. Because my mother was one of those. She stayed on like extra 6 or 7 years for a huge payoff, extra money. She had to teach everybody she managed in her team how to use Banner, and she complained about it all the time. And then she finally got to retire in 2007 after the first Apple Android. the Apple iPhone come out with our first generation of apps and all that stuff. So she didn't know about all that. She didn't do that kind of stuff. It doesn't matter. You know about some of it. If you're a computer engineer, you know about it all. I feel like. And I don't know. It's like against the law for me to ask her any questions, but I still do. And I'll get everything I can out of her. And I will be glad to share any information with anyone. If you have any questions and I happen to know the answer, you can hit me up at thusala.productions at gmail.com. You can hit me up at erinsecreast, that's SECREAST at gmail.com. You can hit me up at heidi.fluke at outlook.com. You can hit me up at, let's see, what's another one I have? Oh, heidi.the.healer82 at gmail.com. heidi.fluke at gmail.com. Any of those will work. My number is 828-493-4001. You won't ever get an answer from me, but I will reply to texts. And I'm getting ready to buy a domain, a couple of them, for a blog and some other things. And get me an API writer. It'll be great. I'll have fun meeting my artificial intelligence. I'm going to learn that machine and get computer vision and all that jazz. Jazz. How about bash?